for you. Small one, only one. Because you pressed one time. Everyone in the back, can you get to me? Yeah. So there was this young tennis player whose nickname was the Angry Kid. He used to get so angry in between the matches. He used to smash his rackets, yell at himself, very angry. But he was quite talented. His mentor, his coach, really believed in him. Now his coaches told him, talent alone is not enough. You really have to master your temper, your mind. And he really worked on his temper, and he went on to win 20 Grand Slams. And he is considered one of the greatest lawn tennis players of all time. Do you know who I am talking about? Great. So you do follow tennis. Alright, now it's time for our 7th speaker of this session. I call up on stage Toastmaster Ajay to explain the speech objective of his speaker. You all ready?
Thank you and good evening, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My target speaker is attempting his level 3 project 1 of the pathway dynamic leadership. The project's name is Negotiate the Best Outcome, and the purpose of the project is to learn about different types of negotiation and the strategies that can be used when negotiating. Time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. Timer, please note. Wish you all the luck.
Now I call Toastmaster Vinay on the stage. Toastmaster Vinay, Kamlesh, Toastmaster Vinay.
Good evening to the entire team. Don't get confused. Tag is not timer around the camera. Tag is Toastmasters and yes. So today, actually, honestly, I just want to speak to you casually. I'm not prepared. I have not prepared my speech. I just wrote here something, jot it down. So I want to ask my evaluator, do you want to hear me just now? I can attempt something, but I can come back later if all say that. So team, you just saw a small example of a small negotiation which I done, which I tried to show how we can negotiate for a particular outcome. And negotiation is something which happens in our day-to-day life. Every day we are negotiating, every moment whether knowingly, unknowingly we are negotiating. And it ages back to the long, so if you remember Arjuna, he put his bow and arrow and said that go to hell and not fight. Then Krishna gave him the Gita of Desh and negotiated with him to fight the battle. Gandhi also negotiated with the Britishers in a different way, non-cooperative movement, and negotiated the freedom for us. And these days, latest, the Donald is negotiating with the entire world and he's trying to do things. So, in negotiation there can be many things, like you can have a win-win approach or you can have an approach like my way or highway. But when you go to home, so I take the scenario at home. Doorbell rings, ring ring. Now in my family I have 2 kids. All 4 of us are looking at each other. Who will go and open the door? My daughter, don't ever dare to look at me. Since morning, this is the 4th time somebody has come and I have opened 3 times. I look towards my son. Magically, miraculously, he falls asleep. And when I look at my wife, she's smiling. Don't even think of it. So, this keeps on happening. The funny thing is that in a home, if you are a younger son, okay, then you can never be a good negotiator. So even if I am say 30-year-old and my elder brother is 35-year-old, he would be a better negotiator. Cut to the next house, there's another boy who is 30-year-old but he's elder. But in his family, he will be the better negotiator. So while in office, you guys must be negotiating out of your needs for daily needs that you would. But negotiation professionally is my work. I am a negotiator at work from last 31 years now, professionally, and personally more than 50 years. So at home, the negotiation that happens is different. The negotiations which you do is different. And the best part is that always the younger brother is always considered to be a poor negotiator rather than the elder brother. My speech is not prepared. So wife, one day I was sitting negotiating a big deal. There was a Zoom call going on and suddenly my wife calls. I did not take her call. I take a big risk, but I still did not take a call. Another 2 minutes ago, she again called me. This time I took her call. I said, I am in a meeting. You have to come back home at 6. Start at 5. Why? I have a meeting at 5. Is it a Zoom meeting? Yes, it's a Zoom meeting. Okay, take on the way. Negotiation has started. While my Zoom meeting ends, at that point of time, I call her back and I ask her, what was so urgent? Why am I being called home? She says, no, it's raining very heavily and Zepto does not give, dry onions these days. I've tried twice, but Zepto onions are not giving dry. So while coming back, just bring some onions from the market. And I'm like, I am negotiating a 200 crore worth deal and here I am being asked to negotiate a 20 worth rupees item. I said, fine, okay. Then I wanted to show my negotiation skills. I lined up at a vendor and roadside vendor and she was selling onions and I asked her, what is the cost? 20. No, 30 rupees per kg. 30 rupees. I told her, look, you will get at 20 rupees in the mall, in that big bazaar. Okay sir, go in the mall, pay the parking charges of 50 rupees and buy at 30 rupees. This is a good negotiator. So all my negotiation skills are left at office. I buy the onions, come back home, and then I'm given the feedback that look, the quality is not good. They are smaller, they should be bigger. So in the end, whatever negotiation I've done, it falls flat. My dear friends, ultimately it's the outcome which matters. What is the outcome of the negotiation? Whether you want to fail or whether you want to pass. I want to lose some of my negotiations because I want to see a smile in the face of those with whom I am negotiating with. And that is the reason why you employ different strategies in different circumstances and with different people. Before I end my speech, I will just give you one example of how sense of humor can tilt the course of a negotiation. So again, I was in Ahmedabad and I was negotiating with a vendor. His name was Kamlesh Bhai, and we were negotiating and I was telling him, Kamlesh Bhai, nahi tha, maine ocha kariya, kam karo. He said, no, this is the best price. Now, who gave you this name, Kamlesh? You are not doing come, nor you are doing less. And then he started laughing. Sir, whatever you want, you can take it. And that's how you win the negotiation. That's all from my side today. Thank you.
We observe 1 minute silence to give feedback to the speaker. For the 8th and final speech of today. Did you enjoy all 7 previous speeches?
Yes.
Great. I call upon evaluator Toastmaster Amruta to explain the speech objective of our speaker.
Am I audible? Yes. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. Today I am going to evaluate a very special speech by delivering by Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Sangeeta. She is going to deliver level 5 pathway completion speech, and the purpose of this project is to look at the growth during the completion of your path. Can you please note time is 10 to 12 minutes. All the very best, distinguished Toastmaster Sangeeta, and back to Toastmaster of the day.
Now I invite Toastmaster Sangeeta on the stage. Toastmaster Sangeeta, reflect on your path. Reflect on your path. Toastmaster Sangeeta.
Hello! Good evening, friends, fellow Toastmasters and teachers. A heartwarming welcome to you all. Friends, someone has truly said that celebrate the endings and they produce the new beginnings. It is true for me as well. After completing my DTM journey with traditional path, I came to know that Toastmaster International is giving one free path during this COVID era. I immediately opted for dynamic leadership and proceeded my journey in the speed of topics. After I gave my ice-breaking speech, I was not sure whether I will be able to complete one level or not. Because it was very difficult for me to first unlearn the things and then relearn the things with a new perspective. Then I discovered that a Toastmaster's journey is a journey of continuous learning. And I found the main difference between the traditional path and the pathway learning program. The difference which I found was that our traditional path makes our foundation strong, while the journey with pathways makes us as specialized individuals. It is just like driving a Maruti 800 and driving automatic car. This time I decided to drive Mercedes. Giving speeches in the virtual background was the biggest challenge for me, as I am not at all a tech-savvy person. Then I took the advantage of joining online various clubs like Delhi Toastmaster Club, Kolkata Toastmaster Club, Thane and Ghodbunder Toastmaster Club to present myself in front of camera. This era helped me to learn a new skill. I participated in various demo meetings as a role player. During my this era, I became a convener. I gave so many ice-breaking speeches again and again in different Toastmaster clubs. During my traditional journey, I was very reluctant to take a role of an evaluator and participating in table topic session. This time, I joined various table topic practice groups, and I grew very much under the leadership of DTM Ramanathan, a Toastmaster club run by the Thane Toastmaster Club. Then friends, my maximum learning happened during the table speeches. I was struggling a lot to write a speech, know your communication style. I called up Toastmaster Jen guidance and support. She guided me to reflect on my challenging situations and pen down my thoughts how I handle that situation. With her guidance, I gave my level 2 speeches and level 3 speeches with flying colors. Then friends, suddenly I faced emotional roller coaster ride, like the death of my younger brother, marriage of my son, birth of my granddaughter, and I was totally away from the Toastmaster club. But I was missing my regular Toastmaster club very much, my second goal. Then I started attending the meeting of Geo Institute Club, which I sponsored. I started mentoring Geo Institute Club for 6 months, and this helped me to slowly get back into the Toastmaster Club. I really appreciate the kind effects of Toastmaster Vidya, Toastmaster Navi, Toastmaster Ravi, Toastmaster Ramesh, Toastmaster Dheeraj, and the list is on and on. Who used to call me to attend the annual Toastmaster Club meeting, but it was not possible for me for my personal commitments. Then one day, finally, I called my all-time mentor, E.M. Rowe, and asked his support and guidance to resume my journey from my level 4. He guided me that how the attending the table topic speeches will get me back into this Toastmaster meetings. And then I started working on the speeches. I gave my speeches in Reliance Toastmaster Club as well as the Khargar Toastmaster Club other than the Elder Toastmaster Club. The speech which I gave in Reliance Toastmaster Club, Lead in Any Situation, was very long speech. And that speech taught me how to write a long speech and deliver it with great concentration and maintaining energy. It also taught me how to gather the relevant content for the speech, because content is not only the king, but it is the kingdom of the speech. Like getting the speech slot for my panel discussion was I struggled a lot. I was very lucky that some Toastmasters know through their speeches get me to give my biggest yes for the project. Thanks to Toastmaster Dhanesh for giving me the speech slot. Monitoring the panel discussion taught me to grow like a professional. It also taught me how to be more alert when someone overshoot their time. Thanks to Toastmaster Meenakshi, DTM Ramanathan, and Toastmaster Arvind Krishna as the panelist. Friends, this dynamic leadership journey transformed my life. It has given me a chance to know my own communication style, my weakness, my strength, and also how to work on my weakness. It really gave added fuel in my confidence is why I feel more confident whenever I give my presentation outside the Toastmaster community. Friends, today I want to give a big thanks to Toastmaster International for designing such specialized paths and making us specialized beautiful individuals. Friends, believe me, this 5 level of dynamic leadership has changed my life. It has given me a chance to reflect and pen down my good moments and bad moments of life. It redefined my life. It has taught me that how to accept failures and cherish the good moments in life. Friends, today, at last, I want to thank all of you. Believe me, to all of my mentors. Your guidance, your support you have given me during this time. It was not possible for me to come back in Toastmaster, but your physical, mental and emotional support made me to come back in Toastmaster, and as a result, I am giving my part completion speech. Last but not the least, I want to thank all the mentors, all the audience. You all taught me how to become a cheerleaders, not only for speakers but the role players as well. Audience are very important in life because they are the one who keep the show going. Friends, today I have completed my path, but I am super excited to start my journey once again. The journey of continuous learning, growth, a journey of contributing in Toastmaster community. Friends, once again, I want to thank all of you, the Toastmasters, who were the part of my journey and who are the part of my journey. I want to give a big thanks to our father of Agile Toastmaster Club, Toastmaster Sukumaran. I am honored to be a part of this club, and I am looking forward to see your all Toastmasters growth, learning and cherishing the moments. Thank you so much.
This was our past completion speech, and for the new Toastmasters and for the knowledge of the guests, whenever there is an icebreaker speech and a past completion speech, we always give and encourage members by giving celebrations. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We observe 1 minute silence so that audience can give feedback to the speaker. 2. To give the timer's report on all the 8 speeches that we have had today. I welcome
Time taken by roll is 6.42 minutes, and this one 6.42. Time taken by Kalpana 6.38 minutes, qualified. Time taken by Sangeeta Shruti 5.31 minutes, qualified. Time taken by Sanish 6.45 minutes, qualified. Time taken by PM Padmapani 6.58 minutes, qualified. Time taken by PM Vinay 7.28 minutes, qualified. Time taken by Parita 12.1 minutes, qualified. and time taken by Sangeeta, 11.57 minutes qualified.
At the beginning today, I promised you that I will tell you the similarities that exist between the game of tennis and public speaking. The first similarity that exists is the performance under pressure. Which among you have watched the recent Wimbledon final and the French Open final that happened just 2 months back? Alright. For those of you who have not watched it, so the French Open final was played by Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. Jannik Sinner during the match had 3 championship points, meaning if he just wins 1 more point, he is going to be the French Open winner. But in all 3 occasions, Carlos Alcaraz defeated him, got the 3 points. And it was such a remarkable comeback done by Carlos Alcaraz that he went on to defeat Sinner and become the French Open champion. Can you imagine the heartbreak? I mean, reaching on the verge of victory 3 times and having to lose the match. I read about it. I mean, how did Sinner actually cope with this loss? But he didn't let it absorb him or affect him so much. He did a personal vacation. He spent time with his family, with his friends. He went for some outing. Then again comes the Wimbledon, and it was a rematch between the same opponents, now Sinner and again Alcaraz, which happened just 2 days back. And this time, Sinner defeated him with a clear advantage. In fact, the last set was not even needed to be played, right? So this is the point that I want to tell you guys. If you ever happen to have a bad speech, don't let it absorb you that you are a bad speaker or something. You can always come back and take a lesson out of Jannik Sinner's playbook and learn from it. The second point is the adaptability. I'm sure all of you must know that there are 4 Grand Slams: Australian Open, French Open, US Open, Wimbledon. The type of the court that is used in all 4 Grand Slams are totally different. Meaning, a player who plays very well in Wimbledon doesn't necessarily mean that he will play very well in French Open. Because in French Open, the ball just slows down. After it drops on the court, the structure of the clay is such that it will just slow down after dropping. But in Wimbledon, it's quite different. So many a time, I'm sure you have heard about Pete Sampras, right? Pete Sampras, he was a great tennis player. He was such a legend, but he could never win on French Open in his entire career. Roger Federer was a master of the grass court in Wimbledon, but he had only one French Open victory in his career. The point I'm making is the adaptability. Whenever the court changes, your opponent changes, you always have to adapt. Being a public speaker, when you are going to give a speech, you always have to assess the mood of the audience, what they are seeking from you, and adapt accordingly. And the last point is the personal style. Every player has his own personal style. I spoke about Carlos Alcaraz. I mean, he is my favorite player. But if you see, he is such an explosive personality. He is just angry and he will just wait and he will just bounce back. That is his strength. He always bounces back from always getting behind in the game. Similarly, Roger Federer, I spoke about a while back. His calm demeanor. Rafael Nadal had a different aura. He was very gritty, very clever. The point I'm making is find out your own personal style of speaking. Which style suits you, which you are comfortable with, and excel in it and become a champion. With this, now it's time for our evaluation session. For the benefit and the new, for the benefit of guests and the new Toastmasters. During the evaluation session, our experienced evaluators give feedback how they can improve, how the speakers can improve. To conduct this session, we have our general evaluator of the day, Toastmasters India. I request Toastmasters India to come on the stage.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you liked the speech marathon today.
Yes.
So I am Sandhya and I will be evaluating our today's speech and overall meeting. So this particular section is divided into 3 segments. The first segment would be evaluating. First segment would be all the evaluators evaluating all the prepared speeches we just heard. For that, I would like to call upon the first evaluator, Toastmaster Piyush.
A wise man have once said, "Journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." So today, Distinguished Toastmaster has taken his first step for his new pathway presentation mastery. I request all of you to give a big round of applause for his step. So most of us in our life have gone through phases in which we have seen our parents fighting. So we were connected when you said about the discussion about those things, and most of us have gone so low in our life that we see that nothing is coming, it is depressing and nothing comes out how to get over situations. But we bounce back, we fight like you have done. So it was very motivational for us and we connected with you. Now coming to the, you have started with a Shakespeare's quote. I forgot to write that. It immediately grabbed the attention of our audience. And you also asked questions in between. So it was grabbing the attention of our audience. You have used humor all out throughout your speech. It was quite engaging and your humor engaged all of us throughout your speech. You have a strong voice. All of us were able to hear your speech till last bench. Now you have a well-structured speech, clear opening, well-defined body and conclusion. And transition from one part to other part was very smooth. Now they say that every speech has a scope of improvement. So I will give you a few recommendations for that. Now it was an icebreaker speech. The purpose was to introduce yourself to the club. You was expected to introduce only to the club. You have introduced yourself. But as a human being, we have tendency, we are interested to listen to some personal stories. So I think you should have shared some personal stories, some personal incidents of your life. And you have introduced yourself and you have said till now what you have done in your life. You didn't discuss about your future plans. So we were expecting what you will be doing in the future, it should have been discussed. So overall, well-structured speech, strong voice, full of humor, good stage presence. Now recommendation, more information to personal stories. And I am looking forward to listen many more stories from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Piyush. I would like to call upon Toastmaster Navi for evaluating Toastmaster Parita's speech.
Thank you, Mr. Sandhya. Parenting then and now. Isn't it a topic that any of us in the audience can identify with, irrespective of whether we have been a parent or not? At least as a child, I could very well identify with the things that she was talking about. Right? Now, one thing I want to note is I must say, Toastmasters is an audience any speaker would love to speak to. Even when we are expected to be unruly and disruptive, we have been extremely polite to Parita throughout her speech and very disciplined. Yeah. So, as an evaluator, we have specifically been instructed not to evaluate your speech, but to evaluate the skills with which she handled the somewhat difficult audience that we were with. Okay. So I evaluated 4 aspects. The first one is control and adaptability. So after there was a disruption, how did you control the audience and how did you adapt to that particular disruption? So after every interruption that happened, you managed to take the control with a smile. That was the most positive aspect of how you did it. Every time there was an interruption, your body language did not show any kind of frustration. You were willing to accept whatever was happening. Second was your communication strategies. Now, how did you handle those interruptions? What techniques did you use? The biggest technique that you used was your humor. Very nicely you handled when there was an interruption, somebody was talking with another person. You got that person's attention back by using humor. Or when I asked you a question, again you used humor, trying to connect with me and asking me about my mother. So that was very good use of humor. The third aspect that I evaluated was content delivery. So even after an interruption, were you able to get back to the floor? Did you lose your flow? You did not. You were spot on. You knew where exactly you were in your speech. You addressed that interruption and then you went back to your speech. So kudos to you for that. Your train of thought did not fail. You managed to convey whatever it is that you wanted to convey. Your body language, your eye contact with the audience, everything spot on. Now the third one is audience engagement. Even during that interruption, were you able to engage with that particular interrupter? Then I felt there were two times there were interruptions. The audience asked you a query. One was a query about how you were giving the money, then why you were expecting them not to use it. The second was about you blaming the current generation. I thought you didn't address that particular query. You just moved on. I think you were in a hurry to get back to whatever you were saying. So those queries weren't exactly addressed. And all in all, I think you achieved your project objective. All your skills with addressing a difficult audience is at an advanced level. Just your control over the audience, the humor as a communication strategy, your hold on the content. Just ensure that you're able to address the specific queries that the audience gives. And I'm sure you'll be able to manage any kind of audience, whether you're speaking about parenting or about rocket science. And just as an added note, I have made notes about your speech as well. I can share that with you. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vicky. Now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Rohidas for evaluating Toastmaster Kalpana.
Few years back, I was diagnosed with malaria, full body ache, headache. I went to the hospital, found a big fat nurse coming to me for that little dressing, saline. She said it will not pain. It pain like anything. She said, see the pain has gone. I said no, it's paining, but what about your headache and body ache? It's gone. I could relate this story to the topic chosen by Kalpana because it's about hospital fraternity and the title says handle with care. She opened her speech with a very valid question and a question which strikes us each every time: stakeholder management. If you check my phone, the Google search will show you how to handle big tough stakeholders. But later on, she went ahead us explaining 4 different effective theories that would help you to manage your stakeholders effectively. There were 4 different theories she explained, like high impact, high power, low impact, low power, high impact, and low impact, low power. She was moving this from the stage around 1, 3, 4, but I felt that she was not moving through these 4 quadrants. She was juggling our mind. On one hand, she was juggling with the audience's mind and other with the audience's heart. See, these 4 theories were so important for us to know. We can apply these 4 theories in any aspect of our life, whichever challenges we have in our life. The last one, which says low impact and low power, she took a dynamic shift from this quadrant over here, which was very well explained to show the impact of her concept and the content she wanted to deliver. So overall, I really liked the way her speech was delivered. it was well structured. She gave the right information, the right set of examples were used, the right the right names and the members' titles were used to showcase the importance of their impacts. But somewhere I realized that the ending was not clear to me. I was not able to hear it very clearly. That's why that was not completely up to the mark how I was looking for. As the topic was handled with care, you would have ended with a quote. I know it was something you were talking about to be real and how realistic things should be. You would have ended with a quote that says, handle with care because real is rare. That would have created a good impact, a good ending to your speech. But overall, I really liked the speech. It was very well structured. The purpose was defined. Just you could work a little bit upon the ending of the speech. And yes, you have got great body language, great confidence, and you will be an amazing speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rohidas. Now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Ishwar for evaluating Toastmaster Sangeeta Shruti's speech.
I'm aware that I started my introduction to my target speaker with a huge blunder. But it's the sheer indication of the fact that I had trepidations walking into the room just thinking about the fact that I'm going to be evaluating the speaker. But this is a speaker that I genuinely looked up to since the moment I joined Toastmasters. It's none other than Toastmaster Sangeeta Shruti. But here's the thing. The trepidation of it continued so much so during the break that I actually ran into a gentleman and I spilled tea over him. I'm sorry for that, sir. Going back to the speech. What a wonderful start. She started off by harking back to these anecdotal references from her life. She spoke about her father. But how did she start? It was a very strong start. She asked questions. She started saying things like, this is a person I've not necessarily had a soft conversation with. She spoke about the austere nonchalance that this man possessed. And she also said things like how perplexed she used to be when he used to just drop in a random question with no context whatsoever. But that's the entire point of the speech. Unsaid. There are certain things that are unsaid in life, and there are certain things that are tacit. Tacit being meaning nothing but unsaid. But here's the thing. Every time her father said something, it was implied that it had something to do with a particular situation. And these anecdotal references are the things that kept this speech alive. And that is something that I truly loved. The second thing that I liked about the speech was the brevity of the speech. And this is something that I should take back as well. It was so short, but yet crisp and to the point. It held my attention to the very end. And then there's a third thing that I liked about the speech. That was the fact that she stuck to the subject, and even if she did wander, it was with purpose. She circled right back to the subject, and she spoke about why she's mentioning her father, why she's mentioning the fact that we're all seated under this roof during a time of war, and what sort of implication that it has to this particular speech. And if there's any one recommendation, if there's any that I have with respect to this speech, it would be the simple fact that maybe it could have had a better ending. Maybe it could have been slightly longer than usual, but it was a wonderful speech regardless. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ishwar. Now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Rajesh for evaluating Toastmaster Sanish's speech.
I have a confession to make. I have repeatedly mispronounced Toastmaster Sanish's name and used to wonder what his name means. Anybody like me?
Yeah.
Many, right? But now I know.
Good night.
Toastmaster Sanish's speech objective is to present a collection of humorous stories. In that he has succeeded. The speech was full of stories, many stories. So congratulations Toastmaster on meeting the speech objectives. What works in this speech? The first point is, it is very relatable. What he has experienced, I too have. I have also locked myself in my house, and my parents and neighbors had to break open the door. Anybody else like me? There are quite a few, right? Very relatable.
Washroom.
Second is, it was very fun throughout, and it was not just either in the beginning or the end. It was throughout. The humor was sprinkled throughout, and self-deprecating humor. Everybody was laughing. And the third was audience engagement. You asked many questions, and people were answering as well. How can you improve on this? Two areas. One, there is a lot of scope in this speech to bring in drama. For example, instead of saying you were sleeping, you lock yourself and you are having 40 weeks. Suddenly your parents come, knock, 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 Sanish. Bang, 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 Sanish. So you can bring in drama, you can bring in vocal variety, and you can, when you repeat it, you can show your parents' frustration. My son has become like Kumbhakarna. You can do that. There is a lot of scope in that. The second is the conclusion. So I was not sure which way it is concluding. Like, there are two ways. One is you said it is a blessing as well as a curse. Okay, the blessing was not covered in detail. You just said one word about it, but there is a lot of scope. You can not only in college, you can also sleep in front of your boss or even in front of a boring speech. Okay, so there is a lot of advantage over there, that is one. Or you can say that it's all because of your name, so leave that aside and then focus entirely on the name. So it was somewhere in between. So that structural part is something that can be covered in a better way. So overall, it was a very good speech, very engaging, and we all enjoyed it. And as a conclusion, I would say that I got a lot of clarity on why you are named what you are, and even if you are going to wake me up in the middle of the night, I will not mispronounce your name.
Now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Dharmesh for evaluating Toastmaster Padmapani's speech.
Toastmaster Padmapani rightly said, mentors are the GPS of our life. Where G stands for guide, P stands for positive influence, and S stands for support system. Toastmaster Padmapani shared his experiences with his grandfather and the things he learned from him. So with this, I can say that the purpose of the speech objective is met. Now I like three things about your speech. First one is the structure, where you had a beginning in which you introduce you explain about the mentor, what a mentor is, then share various stories about in the body, and then a conclusion about your mentor in Toastmasters. So I think it was a good structure. Second point, I would like to ask this question: how many of you remembered your grandparents when Toastmaster Padmapani was sharing his stories? Raise your hands. This is because he had three relatable stories which everybody could connect to, and I think I also went to my childhood with my grandparents. So relatable stories also. Third one was the humor. It was spread throughout your speech, and the highlight was when you asked a question and Ron said, "Beautiful girl," and the entire crowd cracked into laughter. That was the highlight. Now, how do you improve your speech? I have two suggestions for you. First one is that the title of your speech was Grandfather of All Mentors. But when you said about your grandfather, you hardly said a line and started with the story. So I would have loved if you had some brief introduction about your grandfather. And second one is that in your you use voice modulation, but mostly you use the high pitch, high sounds. But you can also include low sounds in your speech. Like for example, when you are explaining that your grandfather was standing or going behind your grandmother, you can say, "My grandfather is going behind your grandmother." You should have added some impact to your speech. So overall, I would like to say a lovely speech, good structure, humor sprinkled throughout your speech, lovely relatable stories, but a little bit of introduction about your grandfather and use of lower voice modulation would have improved your speech a lot. Thank you and over to you.
Now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Ajay for evaluating Toastmaster Vinay's
Thank you, General Evaluator, and good evening, everyone, again. Distinguished Toastmaster Vinay is the opening. When he surprised me, when he negotiated with myself, that purely shows your skills. Before I begin my evaluation, I would like to quickly ask, was it really written right now, or else it was a bit prepared earlier also? Please answer the question.
I written the pointers right now, but the speech at 3
Alright. Here, distinguished Toastmaster Vinay indirectly showcased main point of negotiation, which is bluffing. Bluffing when he slipped the slip, as in when he used the feedback slips. So the commendations for me for your speech were, I love how the speech was dissected into bits of negotiations scenarios. For example, from me to some examples, that is of Gandhi and others, and other to some personal negotiations with the vendor, wife and Kamlesh. Vendor and wife and Kamlesh. Also, I love that you introduced yourself in every bits of negotiation and in different strategies, because that was the, as in sort of project over objectives, where you have to include yourself in every negotiation, and that was added with a perfect amount of witty humor. For example, when you dissected the name of Kamlesh into come less, and when the vendor was asking you to go to the mall and buy, and of course the opening. Two recommendations that I have for you. First and foremost would be, I felt the whole speech was in a plain tone, I would say, and the ending could be a bit more impactful. Impactful as to how the audience, as the whole audience, can learn or take away strategies of negotiation. I felt it was a bit missing over there. Second would be character introduction, or else a bit of giving a voice to the character. One example would be, there would be a sarcastic tone of the vendor when you ask him or her that यहाँ पे तो मुझे 20 rupees में मिल रहा है. So the vendor could have said, हाँ तो सीधा जाओ और ले लो वहाँ से. Sort of, it could have given you a creative element to the speech. Yeah, that's it from my side. To summarize, opening covering the project objectives and witty humor takes the boxes. But then again, a bit of character introduction and an impactful ending would take your speech to the next level. And to answer if you achieved your project objectives, I would say in terms of negotiations, yes, no, maybe. I would say definitely yes. Thank you so much and all.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ajay. Now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Amruta for evaluating Toastmaster Savita.
What is the most important part of the movie? Anyone? Yes. Climax of the movie. Everyone was waiting for what's the ending of the movie. And you end your pathway with a bang, BTM Sangeeta. Many congratulations for that. There are a number of things I really liked in your speech, but I am going to tell you 3 which I really liked the most. First, you talk about your levels. Role beyond Agnet Toastmaster Club, mentoring the club, moderate panel discussion, and that shows your growth during the pathway. You made the project objective here. Many congratulations for that. Second, your speech was full of emotion. When you talk about death of an elder brother, sadness was there. When you talk about the granddaughter birth, the happiness was there. So that shows full of emotion and gratitude. Gratitude towards each and every mentor who helped during this journey. That shows how precious you are. I really liked it. Third one was message. You have a number of obstacles during this pathway, but still you made it. Show must go on. That is the message and key takeaway for all of us. Still, I am going to give you 2 recommendations because this is a pathway completion level 5 speech. First is call to action and vision was missing. Because there are a number of new Toastmasters here who is looking forward to you because you are a veteran Toastmaster. So there should be call to action for the new Toastmasters and your vision, because you are going to select next pathway. So vision should be there. Second, ending should be more impactful, because this is a level 5 and audience expectation was very high. And in the ending, the repetition of thank you will be higher side. So that will be taken care of for the next speech. Overall, your speech was well structured. You made the project objective. Your speech has full of emotion like sadness, happiness, grief, everything. Gratitude was there towards the mentor. And the third one was message, very important. Just work on the basic recommendation like add call to action and vision should be there. Impactful ending, because you are having a decade of experience, DTM Sangeeta, and you are going to start new pathway. We need you. I need you as a mentor, and I really appreciate that still you are having lots of obstacles. You have to continue with Toastmaster. Stick to Toastmaster because show must go on. Back to General Value.
Thank you to all the evaluators for evaluating such a wonderful speech. Now we have completed the first subsection. The second subsection would be calling all the tag names. For that, I would like to call upon our timer, Toastmaster Vishnu.
Yeah. The time taken by PM Piyush, 2.42 minutes, qualified. PM Rohidas, 2.41 minutes, qualified. PM Ishwar, 2.35 minutes, qualified. PM Rajesh, 2.53 minutes, qualified. PM Dharmesh, 2.38 minutes, qualified. Yes. PM Ajay, 2.35 qualified. PM Lipi, 3.43 disqualified, and PM Amruta 2.58 qualified. 58 qualified. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster. Now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Divya for presenting her report.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, here is my counter report for today's meeting. Starting with the sergeant at arms, Vinay had around 2 hours. The presiding officer Navi had 3 plus hours. The Toastmaster of the day Raghav had a few minor filler words, 3 plus so and 1 really. Timer, Quizmaster and Premierian had a few minor filler words during the segment. For prepared speeches, we had 8 prepared speeches. Out of 8 prepared speeches, 4 had no noticeable filler words, well done. While 4 speakers, namely Kalpana, Sunish, Parita and Samita Mishra had a few minor filler words and few pauses. Moving on to the evaluator. Out of 8 evaluators, 5 evaluators had no noticeable filler words, kudos to them, except Ishwar and Rajesh, who used 3 plus hours. Moving on to the general evaluator, Sandhya, who used 3 plus hours. If anyone would like a detailed breakdown, feel free to reach out to me after the meeting. That concludes my account. Thank you.
Toastmaster Bhushan, please present.
So let me step up to the baseline and appraise you about Toastmasters who have successfully used word of the day and phrase of the day. So about the word of the day, Toastmaster Vishnu and Toastmaster Padmapani used word of the day. None use of the phrase of the day in the prepared speeches. About improper usage, so in past tense, when we say I told you, instead of it was used as I tell myself. Then similar way, I became trembling. Instead of this, it should have I started trembling. I buy the onions. In past tense, actually it should have been I bought the onion or I bought the onions. One use of idiom was tale tucked under legs. Actually, it should have been tail tucked between legs. That day I always feel. Instead of that, it should have been that day I felt. So last section is list of quotes, thoughts, words, saying that I like. So Toastmaster Ron used idioms like sink or swim, which means fail or succeed entirely by on your own, with your own efforts. Then second one was tail tucked between legs. It is about being embarrassed and being sad about it. Toastmaster Parita used terminology of authoritarian parenting, which means establishing strict rules that child expect to follow. Toastmaster Sangeeta Shruti used word prize, which means highly valued position, or highly it is used in terms of memories or a prized position basically. Toastmaster Padmapani used word emulate, which is try to match or surpass someone by imitating them. Toastmaster Sangeeta quoted, celebrate the endings as they make way for new beginnings. Thank you everyone.
Thank you Toastmaster Bhushan for such a detailed report. Now we have a quiz session. For that I would like to call upon Toastmaster Ashish.
Good evening everyone, I'm again back. Now this time, those who answer correctly means your dinner plan is confirmed, and those who don't, you are still daydreaming. Those plan is confirmed, let me know, I'll also join you guys. So starting I'll pick up the couple of questions and please raise your hand and then answer. So let's start, this is a fun session, don't be serious. Okay, so the question one is, which tech founder story did TM Navi share that left us all inspired? Perfect. Just please clap everyone. And those who answer wrong now, so we can say, oh my god. Who totally forget to decide the theme of today's meeting last Tuesday? Yes. Yes. Oh yes, clap please. Okay. If you want God to laugh, tell him your plans. Who dropped this divine line? God. Very good. Okay. Who's the boss behind the Miracle Agency? Miracle Works, a website agency. I'm expecting Ron. Yes. Yeah. And what's the best unpaid 24/7 job that TM Padinka mentioned? Please guys raise your hand. And also, maybe teachers.
Being a parent.
Yes. Yeah. Who said this? If he likes you, your report will go straight to Chandrayaan. Yes. Okay. Who's the sleeping beauty amongst us today?
Yeah, he left.
I didn't hear your response actually. Complete the statement. Everyone can contribute, right? Celebrate the ending to begin dash dash. Celebrate the ending to begin party. New beginning. Yes. That's all from my end. Thank you so much, guys.
So it's time for my report now. Overall, okay, first thing is I'd like to say that we started on time. So thank you all the role players for hard work. first role player, Surgeon at Arms. Surgeon at Arms Toastmaster Vinay did a very great job by arranging the room early and also warmly greeting the members and the guests standing outside the door, and it was good. I mean, I observed it and it was good. I have two suggestions. First one is the feedback slips. They were distributed after the first speech, so it could have been done before the speech was started, so that we could have saved like 2 to 3 minutes. The second suggestion I have is, there were many guests who were entering the room while the meeting was going on. So either guiding the guest by asking them to just wait near the entrance, or in the group you could have just mentioned that just be on time, or if you're coming 5 minutes late, just wait near the entrance and so that speakers won't get disturbed. Coming to our presiding officer, thank you Toastmaster Navi for introducing all the guests, and thank you Toastmaster Ruchi for inviting so many guests to the club. We had almost 10 plus guests today. So thank you for having us. Coming to tag team, I like the way all the tag teams along with the quizmaster, they introduce themselves with the creativity, introduce and break their role with the creativity and fun element. So that was very great. And also, it was their first time. All 4 members, I think they did this job for the first time, so commendable. Coming to Toastmaster of the Day, overall the session was very insightful and informative. I like the theme of the day. With this theme, you were able to connect with audience. You were asking a lot of questions, so I like that. I like the way you interacted with them. With that, I have 2 suggestions for you. First suggestion is when the speaker is coming, so before they come to the stage, you could have given a brief introduction about them so that audience is able to connect with the speaker. And the second suggestion would be shaking hand. Like when the speaker is coming to the stage, before the speech, you could have just shake the hand with them, and also told the speech title twice. I mean, we have the way of saying name and speech title and name of the person. So with that, it would have given a little bit professional tone to the meeting. So these are the 2 suggestions I have. Apart from that, overall the meeting went well. So yeah, I hope we all start the next meeting also on time. So over to you.
So as we approach the end of today's meeting, you may have already realized that whether you are holding a tennis racket or a microphone, the mindset is the same. With every speech, you grow. With every role that you take in Toastmasters, you train yourself. And just like tennis, public speaking is not about perfection. It's about persistence. So I hope you go out there, step up to the baseline and ace your journey of public speaking. Over to you, presenting officer.
So good evening once again. We've shared the polls have been shared in our group, and for the guest, Ruchi has QR codes. If you could scan the QR codes. I actually wanted to invite our immediate past president Dheeraj and our past VP Dharmesh on the stage. Please. So there was a award that was given last year for a criteria called Leader in Me, and few of us have won that award. And there was some of it pending to be given. So I would like them to present those awards to whoever is present here right now. I'm not sure.
Okay, so I will announce the name and Dharmesh will hand over the award. So you will mention about the Leader in Me award and then I will announce the name of the people.
So Leader in Me is basically, there were 8 projects which you need to complete between the year, between July to April. And those projects, if you have completed, you get the Leader in Me award. And same will be applicable this year also. Maybe Praveen will be sharing the more details with you in future. So be available for that and try to complete it as many as possible you can complete it.
Okay, so Toastmaster Rajesh. Next one, Toastmaster Padmapani. Next is Toastmaster Ravi. The next is Toastmaster Rashmi.
Not here.
Toastmaster Shashank. And last is Toastmaster Sharvi. Please do inform them. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dheeraj and Toastmaster Dharmesh for doing the honors. Like Toastmaster Dharmesh said, we will be having this award again. And this is an award which is given by the district. This is an award given by the district for the year. So you have an entire year to try and achieve these awards. Last year there were 15 of us who got these awards. So I'm hoping that there are more of 1-5. 1-6. Okay. That's the past XCOM. I'm hoping that more of us achieve it this year. Praveen, polls are done. How many of you have responded to the polls? Jace? So, okay, let me ask how many of you have not responded?
Asking for a professional.
So I have a couple of announcements. We have something called as the TLTP program or the Toastmasters Leadership Training Program. There are 2 of these events happening. One is happening on the 20th, that is tomorrow, and the other one is happening on 27th. So every Toastmaster who is part of District 98 is invited to participate in this training program. It's a day. Starts at about 10 and gets over by 4 o'clock. So it's around a day's worth of a program. What basically happens in this day is they train you to take up the various executive committee roles. They train you in respect of other aspects of Toastmasters, of leadership and things like that. And then the biggest plus point of this event is that you get to network with other Toastmasters, not just your annual Toastmasters club. So you have Toastmasters from across Bombay coming and meeting at that event. So this is a great place to meet other Toastmasters, exchange ideas and make new friends. As executive committee, we are expected to go and attend this event. So 7 of us are definitely going for that event. I would invite all of you, or as many of you can join in, to please come and join. Even the guests present here, if you are interested in understanding a little more about Toastmasters, you can really attend this program and then maybe make up your mind. So there's one happening tomorrow, and the one is happening the week after that on 27th, where most of us are going. The information will be passed on in our Agnel group, in our Agnel guest group. We will be passing on the information. This is just so that you are aware that something like that is happening. So our best auxiliary role player. Any guesses? guesses? That's it. I get all of them. Toastmaster Ashish. Best role player is our Toastmaster of the day. Let's second him. Best evaluator, Toastmaster Rajesh, since nobody is Best speaker is Toastmaster Sanish, who isn't here right now. So let's have a We also have a tradition of felicitating our icebreaker speech. So please, GTM Rob. Icebreaker photo with Ron. And for those of you who don't know, he's a charter member of our club, so he's one of the people who started this club. So again, like I announced last time, members who are members till March, right? No. June. The last EXCOM had ordered some diaries for all of you. So if you haven't collected your diaries, please meet Toastmaster Rajesh and collect your diaries. Again, I say Toastmasters who are members till June. Yeah. If you haven't collected your diaries, please do collect. Pens, yeah. So all those of you who have taken pens, please, please return the pens. Yeah, I know Vidya has definitely taken a pen. Please ensure you collect the Yeah, with that, I close this meeting. You can give it a fight. Can we all assemble here for one photograph, please?